6 days into the manhunt that started with the slaying of a health insurance CEO, police officers in Pennsylvania have detained a man for questioning. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione was picked up at a McDonald's in Altoona after an employee thought that he looked like the man in the NYPD's photos and called the police, according to sources. He was found to have possessed fake IDs, including one that the NYPD believes was used by the killing suspect in New York, as well as a silenced weapon. The man also apparently had some documents investigators wanted to examine, potentially relating to a motive, like a manifesto, apparently. So, hey, big development, right? Now, there's been a lot of developments over the last 6 days, like finding partial fingerprints, DNA. However, there were no matches in the law enforcement databases, which means that Mangione, if he indeed is the killer, had no prior offenses. They also found his backpack that contained Monopoly money. So, I mean, look, they've got a lot of stuff, okay, a lot of evidence against him so far. I'm not going to say 100% that it's him, but, I mean, there's a good chance it might be him, all right? Now, that said, it's a little strange to me. He had 6 days. 6 days to flee, and he was only in Pennsylvania, waiting at a McDonald's with the gun and the fake IDs. I don't know, man. For me, if it indeed is him, then it really does seem like he wanted to get caught. That's just my read of the situation. Okay? And by the way, if you're trying to send a message, then, well, getting caught and having a trial would be the way to do it. Okay? But why did he run then if he wanted to get caught? Because it plays up the suspense. All right? But again, that's just my opinion of the matter. Okay? I don't know for sure. Okay? So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Okay? Now, that said, before he was caught, law enforcement experts did talk to the Daily Beast. This was on Sunday, and said, look, that the evidence overwhelmingly pointed to a profile of a suspect as a both competent and supremely motivated killer who intended to convey a larger message. In fact, retired FBI agent Jennifer Koffendorfer said, quote, "To me, this seems like somebody far beyond just a personal situation, that he lost a family member or loved one due to a lack of being insured. Seems much larger, like a vigilante, someone who is well prepared to make a big statement, and that he blames United Healthcare in this situation." Well, I mean, you would be one of many. After all, United Healthcare denies like about a third of all claims. Okay. Now, forensic psychiatrist and expert witness Dr. Carol Lieberman adds this, quote, "The monopoly money conveys messages both that United Healthcare is a ripoff, true, that steals money from patients in order to pay its executives millions, that itself is a monopoly." She said he may have planned to scatter the monopoly money around the CEO's body after he shot him, but forgot to take the bills out of his backpack. Like, maybe they're right. Okay. I mean, yeah, definitely. Okay, in my opinion, yeah, definitely a message, right? Now, that would, of course, explain why there's the reaction is the way that it is. Okay, why you had so many regular people that didn't really have sympathy for his victim. It's not that they're excusing murder, but they're like, I don't know, my sympathy is out of network. Got denied. What are you going to do? And then, of course, others were like, oh, I don't really mind if he gets away. I've seen those comments. In fact, there are some people that turn him into a bit of a folk hero, giving him the moniker, quote, the adjuster. So, yeah. The adjuster, who struck a blow against America's predatory for-profit healthcare system. I don't know, again, if this is the case. I don't know what his goal was. Okay, don't know. But a lot of people have made a lot of, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of projection here from a lot of people who've been burned by the healthcare system that are projecting like their anger onto him and saying that he is fueled by that same anger. We're going to have to see whether or not Mangione is the guy and whether or not he actually is the folk hero that people are painting him as. And it should be interesting. Now, that said, before he was caught, there were people that suggested flooding the police with fake tips, dressing like the killers, or the killer to confuse the law enforcement officers. In fact, it had a look-alike contest on Saturday. Others who had previously helped police identify people decided to sit it out, which apparently, if this happens to be the guy, then I guess, that didn't really have too much of an effect. One says, quote, "I don't have to encourage violence. I don't have to condone violence by any means, but I also don't have to help," wrote that Danish guy who has 2 million followers on TikTok and who generally says, "I can find anybody." All right. Now, one poster on Reddit writes, "I kind of hope that they never catch him." Why? Because he rightly points out the rich almost never get their due, and added, "Hell, I'll go as far as to say is maybe people should go and flood the cops, and now the FBI's hotlines with fake info, troll pics, and the like." So, again, if it is Mangione, then, they didn't do that. Okay. And by the way, I don't encourage that. I don't discourage that, but I don't encourage that either. I'm just saying. Now, this attitude, of course, had some people very, very upset. Okay. Ed Davis, former Boston police commissioner, told the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, quote, "I've been watching it and I've been shocked by it. It's actually troubling to see it. And I'm really surprised that people are reacting that way, considering the tragic loss here and the violence of what happened." Okay, I gotta ask, tragic loss. Well, for whom, really? Well, his family? Of course. Yeah, absolutely a tragic loss for them. For United Healthcare, not so much. In fact, the day that it happened, they actually continued their shareholder meeting. I'm not kidding. Over the weekend, by the way, I got texts wanting me to sign up for their health insurance. Are you kidding me? Really? If anything, this kind of illustrates how useless CEOs really are. Yes, I said that. Useless CEOs, okay? The fact that the company had still been operating with no problems whatsoever and still pulling in profit kind of tells you what you need to know, okay? Not only that, but on the day that Thompson was gunned down, their stocks went up. But the only time their stock price went down was on Sunday after this video of United Health CEO Andrew Whitty, who was Thompson's boss, was leaked.
And we guard against the pressures that exist for unsafe care or for unnecessary care to be delivered in a way which makes the whole system too complex and ultimately unsustainable.
So that was him talking to other executives, I believe, were shareholders. Okay. And so, like, oh, yeah, we're so important here. What we do, we guard against the pressures of unnecessary care. Again, this is the company that used a faulty AI program that denied 90% of claims for people on Medicare Advantage plans. These are people who are seniors, okay? Elderly people, all right? On the privatized Medicare plans, which people are finding out, oh, they're kind of scammy. Yeah, and it actually makes it hard, if not impossible, to enroll back into traditional Medicare when they find out that, oh, it turns out these Medicare Advantage plans are junk. Yeah. But I love the whole thing about, the system, we guard against the system being more complicated and unsustainable. No, if anything, you guys are the reason that the system is complicated and unsustainable. It's the insurance companies that make it complicated and unsustainable. It's also important to note that this guy, Andrew Whitty, is currently facing a Department of Justice probe into insider trading allegations. Gee. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you know who also was facing some insider trading allegations? Yeah, Brian Thompson. Yeah. Now, unlike Brian Thompson, Andrew Whitty actually makes more. His last fully calculated compensation package in 2023 is a total of $25 million. Brian Thompson brought home $10 million. Now, once again, this is why people of all different political stripes have had no sympathy towards these guys whatsoever. In fact, last week, the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro put out a video titled, "The Evil Revolutionary Left Cheers Murder." The replies, of course, were not what Shapiro expected. It's not just the left, Ben. Sorry, Ben. It's not just the left. We got conservatives and liberals hugging each other in a comment section before GTA 6. Saw my lifelong hardworking father become bankrupt as a result of claims being denied and getting cancer. You're out of touch, man. It's not left or right. It's not black or white. It's rich versus poor. Your true colors are showing. Ben always forgets that his beloved Israel has universal health care subsidized by U.S. taxpayers. Yet he is always saying how it wouldn't work in America. Interesting. This comment section is humanity making sense for the first time in years. Sorry, I cried all my tears when my mom had to put her PET scan on a credit card after her leukemia diagnosis. She and my dad were making payments monthly. A year later, she's still paying, and my dad dies of a heart attack. Hospital harassed my mom to pay his $10,000 bill until she had to file bankruptcy. She now lives in a community for low-income seniors and gets her food through church food bank donations, which is mostly processed food. I don't have many tears left for a perpetuator of the system. And finally, I'm not buying this left versus right shit anymore, Ben. I want healthcare for my family. More comments here, a couple more. Wow, maybe I've been wrong this entire time. Ben, I don't think you actually care about us. I think you just want our money. I think you want us to hate each other. Uh-oh. Another comment. Your business model requires us normal people to hate each other. Oh no. I think he's in trouble.
Oh no.
Oh no. Look, as far as dislikes on the video go, Ben Shapiro, and I know YouTube hides dislikes, but I have there's a browser extension that allows you to view dislikes. This is at 6.7 thousand likes with 45,000 dislikes. Ouch. So yeah, I mean, there you have it. Okay. So look, if Luigi is actually the guy, I'm starting to think that it's because he wanted to get caught. Okay. I think maybe he wanted to go to trial. Look at all the attention. Look at all the rage against the industry. If you're really trying to send a message, well then, I mean, that's the way to do it. Okay. Look at all the fear from the health insurance CEOs. And the fact that you actually are starting to have some class consciousness emerging online. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens going forward with all of this, especially now since it looks like very good chance that this is the guy and that there is going to be a very public trial.